talk.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. You know who it is, your boy John. We're here for another episode. You got your boy over here.
The fucking newly minted white belt Wrangler.
A white belt Wrangler.
The
So you're
Wrangler
changing it up to
fucking
Wrangler
here.
now, huh? Not,
And then-
not Slayer. Or you got both titles? Or?
We're doing both, but right now I'm wrangling.
You Wrangler. What about blue belts?
Yeah, they blue belts.
Why can't you be a white belt Slayer and a blue belt Wrangler?
There we go. That's what it is.
Right?
And then
it just makes sense.
Motherfucking Muay Thai Greg up in this bitch today. That's what we're doing.
That's right, Muay Thai Greg.
Yeah.
Muy Thai Greg, I like it.
But before we get into it, how fat are you today?
Man, look, I'm the same as I ever was.
Fat? Still fat?
Still fat. Yeah. No, I'm just struggling getting these last like couple pounds down. So I'm like 209, 208.
Just go up to the righteous weight of 222.
No.
222 is for a man.
I'll make weight. I'm not worried. I'll make weight. I got a sauna. All I gotta do is sweat a few pounds with a sweatsuit on. Easy.
What do you weigh,
That's
Greg?
right. Right now, I'm a big boy. I'm weighing about 207.
Woo!
I usually walk around 180.
Well, you gotta be something to do something around here.
But I've
That's
been
all I gotta
lifting. I've been lifting. It's the winter got me for lifting season. So
What do you drink? So
Bulking.
John's drinking
You're
water because he's
bulking.
too fat.
drinking water. I am drinking coconut water,
And we got full flavored Mountain
I've
Dews
never
again.
tried coconut water. Like,
it's my hydration, man.
with pulp too.
Yeah, I love it. It just after training, that's
Like electrolytes. And
yeah.
all the good stuff.
It's like my
Yeah.
Gatorade, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's fucking get ripping into it because he said training. So you are what's equivalent to a black belt in Muay Thai, or in Jiu-Jitsu in Muay Thai, which is what, a red belt? You said?
Well, it would be. I mean, there's really no rankings. It's
Oh,
just
okay.
they go off of Pachai or the Mongkol, which is, they have. It's like a colors ranking.
Do they give you something physical?
Mine was earned from just loyalty and dedication. I had some fights along the way of earning that, and I always, in the beginning, in my mind, it was, I want to be a fighter, but I realized it was a training of an art that was taken to a sport, and that art has bettered my life. So helping others would be great to coach and mentor and teach. And
So you kind of found in what you thought and all the noise and you thought was your path.
Yeah.
You found kind of what made you kind of realize that it's an art versus like it's not just about smashing people.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was hard because I was in MMA gyms at the time. So I was my first gym that I really was about 10 years at Arena MMA.
Wait, you were at one gym for 10 years?
Yeah.
How long have you been training Muay Thai for? That's a long goddamn time when you start with that.
I did obviously as a kid karate and then I got into boxing in middle school and then kickboxing for like a year or two and then karate when I was in high school because I like the Karate Kid style tournament,
we were talking about the last
points
time.
sparring. Yeah.
And then the movies are out and you're like,
So I competed with that, like the point sparring stuff.
Yeah.
But then when I got out of that out of high school and I wanted to learn the actual art of Muay Thai.
Yeah. The real shit.
The real shit. Like I wanted to, and so I signed up at an MMA gym, and that's pretty much where I started. I was doing jiu-jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai all at the time, and I mean, it was hard to balance all that.
I've seen there's like a big trend of like, I don't know if I want to say influencers, but like a big trend of like people going to Thailand and training there now in like these digital nomads, people that like can work anywhere.
That's been on my mind.
Just, like,
that's been on my mind.
Traveling
to go to Muay Thai?
And
No, just not even that. Just there's no rush.
Yeah.
For me, I've been training the way I love training, and the time to go to Thailand, I was actually gonna go for my honeymoon, because I'm engaged, but I wasn't gonna go for like I want to go and fight, and I would go for the culture, to enjoy and like and there seems like a lot of trend of they have to go to Thailand to like be somebody, and it's go and
enjoy the culture.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
Do a gym drop by.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what it is. Like it's like when I think of like training Muay Thai in Thailand, that's like equivalent to like wrestling, right? The level of intensity is like so, like it's just so.
It is intense.
They're more equivalent to like a wrestling gym, you know. And
I
how
personally
intense they
never
are.
been, so I can't speak. But from what I've seen, and I've seen a lot of documentaries, Tiger Muay Thai, you know, Phuket, and you know.
If you were to go to Thailand, is that where you'd go to Phuket?
Honestly, I would go to Jockey Gym.
Is that a popping one out there? I've only ever heard like the super
It's
big
just
ones.
I'm a big follower on some old school fighters back in the day that trained there.
Okay.
And
Their gym culture.
their gym culture environment is very similar to what I was taught.
Yeah.
So if you were to go to Thailand to go train, and because I think you said it already, but you've taken professional fights here in the U.S., right?
Amateur pro,
Okay,
one,
yeah.
and then I had like about 10 amateur.
Okay, yeah, because I saw some pictures of you wearing headgear. But if you were going over there dropping in, and they're like, oh, look at this big white boy, you want to catch a fade? Would you take a pro fight over there if you could?
In
Thailand?
Savages, man.
Oh man, I mean, if it was like that, I just gotta
Gotta go.
hang it, gotta go with it and
Gotta
hang.
send it.
You gotta hang in there and just.
Those dudes are scary.
Yeah,
Just,
man.
They're
They're shin
I condition my
conditioning
shins every day, man.
stuff. Do
but
you?
Still?
How do you do it? How do you condition them?
There was a time, man, where when I was amateur, I was kicking poles. That was
What kind of poles?
like handicap poles.
Oh,
or
fuck.
I've seen videos of people doing that. They
Yeah,
like bend,
but
dent them. I'm like,
not like where I'm going crazy,
Yeah.
but like it was just like just bing,
Yeah,
like playing with my shins on the pole, and then my crew taught me like that's your foundation is your shin, man, and then the second foundation is your forearm right here, where the
Is that
elbow
to block?
connected to the elbow. Yep,
Yeah.
a lot of framing, just like in jiu-jitsu. You know, they have the framing protecting the neck. I always call it combing the hair. That's the way I like. I always hear it too. Combing the hair, telephone.
yeah.
You comb in the hair, stopping the arm if it's a haymaker, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then my jaws protect right
Oh,
here.
shit.
Shoulder.
So it's a lot of frame.
What are you doing to condition like that part of your arm? Are you hitting shit?
I don't personally. The bag, yeah.
Okay.
A lot of elbow on them pads, and then accidents.
I just want to say this
Yeah.
right out bat. The way you fucking defended your face and tucked your chin made me scared.
Well, because
I can tell you're doing that. You're fucking bout it.
He's probably done it like a
Yeah,
million
you're just
times.
fucking, you're
you
ready
know,
to
like-
rip.
relax, stay relaxed. That's the thing. It's okay. So the style I was taught was Muay Baran. It's where the Muay Thai was a sport taking from that art. Muay Baran were like from like the shaman, the
Yeah.
monks, it's kind of like the kung fu of Muay Thai.
Okay.
So the way that how I saw it, when I was learning it, it was just you're always going forward with a frame.
So you're never just like, you're not marching forward this way. You're more moving forward to some sort of motion.
Forward,
something
the side,
Yeah.
but you're not. It's kind of you're not backing up. You're to back up is the roundhouse or haymakers. You're going with the snap.
Yeah, you give them distance.
So they're saying is forward like an arrow.
Oh, okay.
That's the best way to see it, and that's why I always got used to. They would throw punches with their gloves, and I would get used to blocking and framing with the punches, and then the checking, and then if I don't check it in time, I go into it, to throw the punch, and then respond with that leg. It's just back and forth, flowing.
I think just sitting here, watching you move, do the elbow movement and
smooth.
tuck the chin. No, I have fully decided that Muay Thai is the best fucking martial art, and there's no way a jiu-jitsu dude is gonna fuck up a Muay Thai dude in the streets. I think I've changed my mind.
Hey man,
Did you see? There's a video clip of what's his name?
Dustin Poirier?
No, not Dustin Poirier. Poirier.
Peter Yan?
I don't know. He was like sparring, and
Jan's,
Oh,
Jan's
this-
good.
No, Poatan.
he did this like weird.
Alex Pereira.
Yeah, Alex Pierre.
Yeah.
The guy
He's a
went for a
striker.
kick.
He's a striker. That's why
He went for a kick. And
he backed it backwards.
he checked it backwards. He
been doing
stepped
that for a couple
backwards
months.
and blocked it with. I was like, what?
Did you watch the whole video though?
No, I didn't see the whole video.
Oh, so he blocks that kick, and dude, he's just like at the gym.
Like he's playing around.
And like the kid starts going hard on him, and he was like, "Oh, you want to swing with intention?" And he hits this kid at the body shot, and you can see the kid like, huh, and then he just fucking hits him in the head, and the kid like kind of stops. He's like, "Okay, I'm done."
Yeah,
It's like
I think the people. It's the same with jiu-jitsu, right? Where there's levels to the game. It's the same with Muay Thai and like striking. That there's so many levels. Like there's this what do you call it? Not a power lifter, but what are those guys? The strongest man.
Bradley Martin?
No, one of those guys.
Just so, like there's power lifters,
They
there's
do
bodybuilders.
They do the strongest man thing.
Yeah.
Oh, strongman.
Yeah,
Strongman.
he did Eddie Hall. I think it's not.
yeah.
He was at. I don't know if you saw. These guys are trying to do MMA now. So he was at some gym and he was doing like, I don't know if it's kickboxing or Muay Thai or whatever. And so he was like, oh, do you know, he was talking with the whoever's teaching him, and he's like, do you think I could take a full kick, to my leg or whatever? And he was like, no. And he goes, here, I got something for you. And he calls this little kid over. He's probably like 10, 11 years old, And he's like, I don't even know if he's going to be able to do it.
Take the kick from a 10-year-old?
He's like, if he does the technique right, like, And so this little kid just was like, bam, laid into him. And he was like, oh my God.
So this is a perfect transition for the most broke baller I know. What's it going to take to let him kick your
It
leg?
ain't happening.
$100?
Not happening.
$200.
You got tree trunks. You can absorb it.
Fuck no.
Yeah, it ain't happening.
Let's let him.
I'm not retarded. It's not happening. Come on. You can just stop. There's not. It's just never happened.
So you were kicking poles and shit. What else would you kick? Would you kick like trees or like?
The bag, man. That's the bag.
It
The heavy
hurts when
bag.
you
The
kick
bottom
it,
of the
right?
heavy bag where that sand, it absorbs the bottom to become, it's like a compound.
Yeah.
It's kicking that. You do like, I would train and then I want to do the 100 kick thing. So 100 roundhouse per leg, or technically 50 each leg, you know. But a good cool down, just conditioning that shin. And then with my crew, he would wear like a little, kind of like a small little layer shin guard, and I bare shin would kick him to kind of.
And he would
condition.
just like check.
He would check it, and I would do it tap, after class. Because he would break cement with his roundhouse.
Oh, man.
Like the blocks.
Yeah.
Imagine being a normal person and you fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
And you kick like something like that.
That's the thing. No matter who you really are, a big beastly man. Like if you block that, your arm's broken.
Yeah, break it.
Because that guy's breaking cement, so he's slicing through you.
Yeah.
You can't really defend that.
There's
It's
been a
like
couple-
Mr. Miyagi. None can defend.
Yeah,
He said that.
There's been a couple of fights I've seen
In the
where
UFC where they
they
block 'em,
they
their
block
arm
it and their
breaks,
arm just boom snaps. It's like, oh,
One
man.
championship. I watch a lot of one championship, and that's I've noticed a lot of guys their mobility gets taken away from leg kicks. Their arm, disfigured from a kick. And
what's it like when you catch an elbow and you throw a kick like that though? Like when someone's kicking you or you're kicking someone and they block it. And
I always absorb this part of my elbow.
No, but what if you kick someone's elbow? Does that hurt?
That's if they're not turning over and they're kicking upright, that's gonna really hurt. Yeah.
So something we compete once as amateurs, hobbyists, however you want to call it, pretty frequently. I do. This guy doesn't really do anything. He just kind of fucking keeps showing up to the gym and eating burritos and shit. I tend to like.
Do you ever notice how happy I am though compared to you?
I'm not arguing that. I am not arguing
That's
with
all
that.
that matters.
Yeah, I am not arguing
And
with
I
that.
already put in the work.
Yeah, I'm not arguing with that. But
I put in the work from day one at a white belt. You're always like, I can't I can't get it.
So for me, like I go through the whole like. I try to get to a lower weight, and so cutting weight and more training like twice a day. I try to go twice a day. Cardio, like active recovery. So I'll do like
well,
cardio
fuck,
on
what's
the
wrong with you right now?
and
You
then
go twice a day.
sauna.
What's wrong with you right now?
This is probably the main thing that you need for that.
It's
right
all I drink is water.
Good.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Last time you had a fucking energy
Well,
drink.
yeah. Well, the 10-calorie one. I do.
But
like
here's
zero calories.
Let me say something. I do the same thing with coffee. When it comes, I'm about to go roll. I'm going to go do Muay Thai sparring. I will have an energy drink or coffee. I mean, I'm going to burn that off. So that's fine. Yeah, if you're going to drink it like that.
Well, but the ones I get are 0 calories, no sugar.
Yeah, so
they're still not good for you.
And that's what I hear. Like I have a thing. My guilty pleasure is Diet Coke. But I hear it's that stuff's not good. So I had to go to the like 7-Up Zero and stuff. But I'm not a soda guy. But when I do, I go to the sugar free.
So what was your? I guess that's kind of where I was going. It's like, so those are some of the things that, for jiu-jitsu. We're not. What is when you're getting ready? Like, how far out do you start? Like your camp. Like, what does your camp look like? Are you training every single day? Do you have rest days?
So when I was doing the amateur stuff in the beginning, I did 2 smokers out of my home gym. It was an MMA gym, the Arena MMA. That was back 2012, 10 or something. So
Damn.
that was years ago.
Deep
A while
in the
ago,
game.
yeah.
And yeah, there is, and that was a gym with like a lot of MMA names at the time, and it was growing. They knocked down the wall with the Soma, and they made it twice as big. That's when I met my crew Mark.
Can you explain what crew is?
Crew is teacher in Thai. It's like
Okay.
the way of like, for coaching for Muay Thai.
Yeah.
And it's KRU. And yeah, when he approached me and we talked, I was like, that his class was the last class I was going to take, because I've been doing jiu-jitsu and boxing. And I'm like, I'm going to do his class right after and do Muay Thai. Once I got into it, man, because maybe it's because I had that, a little bit of a background of kickboxing and stuff, boxing, and I was just.
It's fun, man.
It was fun, and then I got into Muay Thai, and then ever since he was like he became my mentor and almost like a father figure for many years there.
I think I've told him, and we've talked about it a couple of times. When I was younger, before I started having kids, there was I'm from San Diego. There was a place called City Boxing, downtown San Diego.
Yeah.
Brandon
I know where
Vera
that
was
is.
at.
Yeah.
So I trained there for a while while he was there. So I would do Muay Thai with Brandon, and that was brutal stuff, man.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is. But
So
I was
there's
like
City
really
Boxing,
getting into
and
it.
the down the street boxing club, and then there's a lot of boxing gyms
And
right
it
there.
was like I did Kempo when I was younger, and
Me
then,
too. That's where I was doing the point.
Oh,
point
nice.
stuff,
Yeah. And then I was like, I'm gonna try something new, and I went in there and did Muay Thai and boxing, and you were talking about kicking the bags, a bunch of stuff, and I just remember like they'd be like,
Shins,
you'd run
buddy.
around the block and then come back, and you'd be like 20 right kicks, 20 left kicks,
Yeah.
10 push-ups,
It's 'cause
and run
that-
around the
it's
block, and
that
come back and do it again. And
the
it was like
roundhouse-
over and over again.
The roundhouse snap, you want
Yeah.
that 1,000 times, man.
I
Yeah,
would
it's
pay
fun
to
to
see you
do.
do that now.
I would die. Well, maybe not as bad as when I first started jiu-jitsu. Ricardo's.
Let me say, even checking,
Yeah.
and there's a fight that I did really good. It was an amazing fight. It was against the guy's like a Dutch kickboxer type of style. He blasted me, but I was like,
Yeah, it
my
still
shin
hurts,
bone,
yeah.
my shin bone from checking his heavy kicks swell up after the fight.
We were watching. I was watching Strickland's fight. You watch how Strickland was checking every
He's
kick.
really good at
He was
throwing
like,
that check.
yeah.
that
It was
has.
like-
He has a weird
he
check.
never
It's
even
just
like.
always.
Yeah, it was weird because it was very. I almost want to say robotic. Like.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even like. It was
doesn't-
always
nothing
looking
changes. He
forward.
knows it's coming.
Never even
Yeah.
looks down.
Right.
And it's like boom, boom.
Well, you
boom,
got to remember,
everywhere. And I was
there's
like, man, that's
there's
crazy.
two muscles you got to protect right there: your calf and then your
Yeah,
then you
calf.
get your quad. So that's what they're gonna hit if you don't check.
Yeah.
You could post into it, like put a foundation into it, but you gotta cock something ready to go.
Yeah.
So when you first started Muay Thai, were they messing with the low calf kick at all? Because that seems like it's like a newer thing, right?
Yeah.
It was. I knew what it was,
Yeah.
but I never did it.
No one was using it.
Do you
I
ever
was
mess with
going.
that?
I was going outside thigh, inside thigh,
So what, did
body.
Did they teach it, and it was just not something that was like they were like, yeah, you should do this, or no one really.
It works, but
no one understood like
it
how
works, but it's like a
effective-
spin kick. It works at the right. You have to do it
The right
perfect
angle,
angle, time, and because if it's easy to move your foot up to check it.
So it's more. You think more about the progression of the sport and the progression of the skill that's allowed people to be so successful with it. Because
they have a good setup for it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
so
yeah,
maybe
good
like a
setup.
good 1, 2, 3, or
And then-
just like a good 1, 2, and then they snap that kick
yeah.
right to the calf.
So you said you're watching a lot of one in one championship. They have straight Muay Thai fights in it.
Yeah.
Are they messing around with that low calf kick in Muay Thai, or is that just an MMA thing right now?
MMA.
Really?
But that makes sense because it's mixed martial arts.
Yeah, it's a little of everything.
Yeah.
They pull the best
Yeah.
stuff.
And I did a lot of drilling with some MMA coaches that they put that in their combos.
So it's the setup. That's
Yeah.
kind of what you're going back to.
Yeah.
Setting it up, making it available for you for
Yep.
it to be
Effective,
successful
to
and
be effective,
Yeah.
yep.
Because man, those things, you see people just get destroyed with those, and it's like they can't even like post on it. They can't put weight on it. It's
Yeah.
like
I've been keeping up a little bit of MMA, the UFC and stuff, but mainly one championship is where I watch almost every fight. And then,
They got a lot of really cool shit going on because they're doing like they'll do mixed rules fights, but they'll also do straight Muay Thai, straight Jiu-Jitsu, and they have it all on the same card, MMA fights.
Yeah.
So it'll be like 2 or 3 Muay Thai fights, a couple Jiu-Jitsu
cool to
fights,
see.
and MMA like all in
Yeah,
one.
it's cool to see.
I mean, one championship is the biggest fight organization in the world.
Indonesia.
Yeah, well, in the world,
Yeah.
they get more impressions than the UFC does. Yeah, they're huge.
That's
It's giant.
I remember when Brandon went over there because that's after his UFC little stint.
Oh, Vera?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
like, and he got. I think he got like the raw end. You know, he goes up against Thiago Silva,
Yeah.
who's elbows him in the face, breaks his fucking face open, and then
a
comes
dog
out
fight.
comes out the dude's fucking juice to the gills, and it's like,
Hey, if you're not
man.
trying to cheat, you're not trying to win.
I mean,
Especially
he
in
went
that
up-
era, everyone was on
Dude, he went up
steroids.
against he went up with some of the greatest too, like Frank Mir, like, and then he went over to one and just.
Dude, I
Blew
saw Frank Mir at ADCC last time. Dude,
He's a
he
scary
is
dude.
Fucking huge.
This is
Yeah,
a scary
he-
man.
Yes, he's also giant.
And you know he almost died in a
Yeah,
motorcycle
yeah.
accident.
That
and
was,
he came back.
That was before or after the first
He's-
Brock fight.
That was before.
He's got some good jiu-jitsu, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's his
His leg
base.
game is
Yeah.
like.
His base is
He was
jiu-jitsu.
able, and I remember I used to love the fights with, he had 2 of them, I think, with Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, 2 of them. Yeah.
And he was using his jiu-jitsu, and Brock was using his wrestling
Yep.
and his ground and pound. And I was just like, dang.
Yeah, he caught him in a was it a heel hook or something?
Yeah, he
the
got
first
him
one?
one time, I think, and then Brock
Yeah,
got
Brock
him another
won the
time.
second
Yeah,
time.
Yeah.
Well, Brock is just
he's a monster.
he's just
big-
naturally
big boy,
Yeah,
big boy.
yeah.
I can't imagine how big Brock is because
Dude.
Frank Mir was like
Oh,
didn't
he
believe
towered.
he was big.
He towered over Frank Mir. When
Yeah.
you watch the footage, like you watch, you're like, holy crap.
Yeah, Brock is fucking scary, dude.
Yeah, dude, that's a scary human.
I don't
And he
give a fuck,
moves.
dude.
And he moves like
He's like
a light-
Cody.
Yeah, he's like Cody.
Yeah.
That's
Cody.
what Cody's new name
Dude,
is.
Cody's
Brock
ridiculous.
Lesnar.
Yeah.
Cody's ridiculous, man. He's like he moves like. I'm like, you're not supposed to move like that, bro. You're not supposed to be able to do that.
He's very agile and athletic.
100%.
He's explosive.
Yeah, yeah.
You know
For
why?
his size, for 250.
Yeah, he was a 2-athlete sport person in fucking high school.
Yeah,
And he was also like 180 pounds, like fucking smashing fools playing soccer. He was
Yeah.
like, I think close to a college level soccer player.
Wow.
I mean, he just got lazy. Cody,
Yeah. Cody.
don't beat me up because you're still on the no roll list, dog. I'm still injured.
Yeah, rolling with him is rough. It's hard to.
I keep forgetting we're getting filmed. I
Yeah.
thought this was all recording.
Yeah. every time he's like, "Hey, you want to get one in?" I'm like, "No, I don't."
He's ducking Cody. Huh?
So I've been ducking ever since Thanksgiving, since he gave me a black eye.
Yeah.
Fucking need me right in the face the Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, he had a black eye.
And my mother-in-law wanted to take a picture of us just for like a family picture or whatever. And she's like, no, I'll get it after. I'll get it after. And I was like, just fucking do it now. I'm sitting here. And so she did it, and I was like, oh, I have a black eye. She didn't want the one with the black eye.
Hey, Cody, he's got that strength, man. And,
Dude.
and for being a grappler, he's got hands.
Yeah. Man,
that's-
he's one of the scariest roles for sure.
Yeah, he's
Because he's fast and he's good.
Yeah,
he's
good.
super technical.
He spins out.
Yeah, he spins out. You can't hold on because not because he's fat, but he's just such a big person. Like you can't like control him.
I'm sorry, I have to say this, Cody. I saw him get fucking the most textbooked fireman's carry on him.
It was by
And-
Kyle.
No, it was.
So it don't count.
Um,
No, you don't got to.
his name.
It's not
Anyways,
important.
he caught him with it, and I watched it happen. And at first I was like, "There's no way he's going." And it was so textbook. Cody literally flew through the air. It was like bam, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
I couldn't.
popped up and fucking put the work in on it.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Dude, he's like, I can't believe he hit that on me." I was like, I was impressed. I was like, "Holy crap! I can't believe he got that on you, man."
That's wild.
Yeah, because like you don't see that happening to Cody very often. You don't want to get stuck under Cody because it's a nightmare. I'm telling you.
I just wait for the tornado to stop. I try to grab him and make him stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But back to your Muay Thai journey. So you said you trained at the arena. Is that where you started for 10
Arena
years?
MMA, yeah.
For like 10 years, and then where'd you go after that?
Victory MMA.
So you got your highest rank status. You said the red belt. What's it called? How do you say the what
Monko.
Monko. So you got that there, right?
Yeah.
And then you started training at Victory MMA. If you're not from California, you might not know who that is, but that's Jocko's and Dean Lister's gym, right?
Yeah.
They're the owners of it.
They're the owners.
But it's an MMA gym, so there's straight jiu-jitsu, there's straight Muay Thai because I see
Yeah.
you train Muay Thai there, and then there's MMA, and then so.
Yeah, the Alliance team trains there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So you ever train with Dominic Cruz?
Dominic Cruz? No, because I'm not an MMA guy.
Oh, okay, so he's only training straight MMA. when
He's straight
there?
to MMA guys. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you that when you were talking earlier, like not to be like disrespectful, but like when you go against MMA guys, I would assume your striking is so much higher level. And then like when the jiu-jitsu guys go, usually the jiu-jitsu is way higher level. But those dudes, like the gas tank those guys have, and the ability for them to mix it up makes them impossible to roll with or fight.
I've never really had anyone in a Muay Thai, spar that has ever shot, except one guy from Brazil, but that was back at the arena. It was a big guy. It was very technical, but it was just cool that he being a jiu-jitsu guy, he's adding that in there with the combo,
But when you're sparring with like MMA guys, do you feel like your level is elevated because you focus just on Muay Thai for so long?
Yeah, there's definitely some good MMA strikers that throw hands with me. Yeah.
Is it really? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would have thought it was the opposite way because like when you put like the MMA guys with like, let's say equal skill level, like a dude that would be like a quote unquote black belt in MMA versus straight jiu-jitsu, and you give them straight jiu-jitsu rules, usually the jiu-jitsu guys win. But if it's just grappling, usually the MMA guys win.
But see, the thing about the MMA guys are so well versed that and I keep, the way I'm working with these guys, I'm not trying to bully or put. I pressure them, but not in a way where it's like we're gonna make it a dog fight, which an MMA fighter wants.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Because they want to catch you in the transitions,
right?
Or
like, Overhands. Overhands you can't play around with too much. Elbows. When I do work in the clinch, and I always have elbow pads on, and then like the accidents only happen when the sweat makes my elbow pad slip. It makes it slide. And then I do a slicing elbow, and it's like, oops, bone on bone, and then the mat, they start leaking. It's like that's an accident of,
it happens.
It just happens. It's just like in jiu-jitsu,
Yeah. Do those kind of things happen a lot in Muay Thai? Because like I would assume like so when you spar with guys at your level, it's always like playful. But then you spar with like the quote unquote white belts, they probably start trying to get aggro, and like you catch them with something, they're like, oh hell no, they try to catch you, and you're like,
within the last 2 years. Mainly when I was at Victory, there'd be guys. Then they end up being my friend, But you kind of read them, and if they're bigger, and they see me, a guy that's 6'2", fights at 180, or they're probably like, okay, like I'm gonna have to try to blast them too. Mm-hmm. When they do that, I have to like, I remember just
have to turn it up.
I just do a Muay Thai clinch and just dump them on the mat and be like, hey man, like.
Yeah.
Like I'm experienced here. Like we're here to fight, to do our technical spar. And then they flow.
Yeah. I remember that when I first started doing jiu-jitsu, I was like, I'm so much bigger and like probably stronger than most of those people. I'm just gonna bully through shit. And it's like I didn't realize they were playing with me for such a long time. You know what I mean?
Letting you work.
Then you realize that they're just playing with you, and you're like, oh, now I get it. You know what I mean?
So for my motto in a way is like the white belt Wrangler you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
Like that, the same thing goes with striking. You got those guys that just go in there and they just want to do 1-2s, and go
down a bit.
Yeah, and then I've had the guy where I clinch him up to tell him like, hey man, you need relax in your clinch, and he starts doing the rabbit punches like the like it's like, all right, dude, like we're not fighting for points to see who's gonna win this round. It's just things that things that. You just got to communicate. That's the main thing when you spar, you roll, communicate. Especially when you roll and you're like, oh, my shoulders are really messed up. You tell them, hey, keep it easy. If you get me in half guard, don't go for my arm or something.
It's such a delicate thing to do because sometimes like, someone will say that and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, we'll start here. We'll take it easy. And all of a sudden they're going 100%. And you're like, I thought you were injured here. You're trying to take it easy. Now you're trying to murder me.
Sometimes I remember back in the day, when I'd be fighting amateur, getting banged up, I wouldn't even tell people because when I would tell them, like, oh, I'm not wearing a cup or something, and then I just get kicked in the balls. You know what I mean? Like, it just, if you don't tell them, it seems like it doesn't happen, but when you do it,
that's kind of, unless I'm like really messed up, like if I'm sore or something, I'm the same way. I try not to just bring it up because what if I do want to, what if we do get into, sometimes I'm sure you've gone in where you get into a roll and it turns into a freaking battle. Yeah. And it's just so much fun. You're just enjoying the roll, the back and forth. Yeah. And then you're like, if you had told them, oh, I'm injured, now you feel like an asshole. Because,
Yeah,
so I just try to stay quiet, and then I just tap if I have to.
That's why.
Like, all right.
That's why I like going with the purples and browns, because it's like you can get a good roll without them trying to do like to muscle something where you get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because they're just being technical. They're playing, they're playing around and stuff. But like, when I have had injuries, I try not to tell people. Like, they might know because I talked about it earlier or whatever. But I try not to tell them before a roll, because maybe they just play too light, and then it's like, what are we here for? It's like, we're here to get it in. Like, and I always tell them like I was rolling with Joshua today. And he was about to get something. He's like, "Oh, I was attacking the arm." I was like, "No, keep going. If it hurts, I'll tap." You know
exactly.
What I mean? It's like I'll tap.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the thing, and that's what I've been learning. I'm not much of a jiu-jitsu guy, but when
Not yet.
not
Not
yet.
yet. You're not.
Dude, today.
But you just gotta have the ego. You gotta let your ego go when it comes to know when to tap.
Yeah.
Know when to tap, because
I think that also comes with age, because you'll see a lot of the younger cats, the younger kids, even teen kids. They come in there, they just don't want to tap, and so you have to be like, "Hey, tap."
Yeah,
and they're like, "Well, it wasn't hurting." I'm like, "No.
You're
gonna get broken off here.
Yeah.
You need to learn how to tap." And I think as you get older, everyone still has an ego, but you're not worried about tapping. Like, you're just like, "Dude, whatever, you got me. Good job."
Yeah.
You know.
Is that hard to kind of flow in Muay Thai? Because like, let's say you're flowing and someone catches you with like just a stiff jab. Do you want to turn it up, or do you have like the wherewithal to say, like,
yourself.
keep your calm. You gotta always keep calm.
Is that when you get paid more when you start to turn it up?
I may let my, like, for instance, like they do something like when I do the lever shot, just to kind of like to humble them a little bit, just to show them, be like chill out, or like I could turn it up too, like kind of just without having to make it a full on dogfight.
Yeah,
that's the thing with, I think, with jiu-jitsu, it's probably easier to do that because, with striking, it's like it's striking.
That's
in
what I'm
jiu-jitsu,
saying,
you can like, I could just put you in a really uncomfortable position and be like, you wanted to go hard. Now I don't even have to. I'm not even wanting to submit you. I want to make you suffer.
Right.
Like, no, you're gonna suffer. That's what's gonna happen here.
I feel bad saying it, but like half the times I roll with like the white belts who get all spazzy. I mean, it's like I'm not trying to tap them. I'm trying to,
wrangle them.
Yeah.
Like, hey, know your role, man.
And it's like,
you guys have good size, that you.
I'm working on that crossface.
Use that weight.
It's mean to work on, but I've been working on crossfacing people, because like if I roll with you, I could crossface you all I want, but you're not going to move your neck. But you get the people that don't know how to do it. You're good there. You can keep going.
You're good.
Yeah. So like you'll crossface someone, and then they give you the position. Like this, the crossface is so powerful. Like it's a technique you have to work on, unfortunately, because like you're grinding people's faces with your gi. But I mean, it is a technique. The crossface is a real technique.
100%. Well, you use in wrestling all the time.
Yeah.
And it's funny you say crossface, because that's a big thing I've been teaching in my class for Muay Thai.
Yeah.
The crossface.
What,
The crossface is putting the glove. Putting the glove out. It's not a punch, but it's so they can't see, and then you could just blast that body, or blast that leg.
That was when I was doing the Muay Thai and the boxing. That was a big thing that they would always talk about, like, hey,
a post.
Post
Keep
the hand out there,
crossface,
because then they can't see it, and you can come back with something afterwards.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
And it's
that was
really
like a
freaking
real
annoying.
technique. I always thought people just did it to defend. But it's you do it with the purpose.
Yeah, the purpose.
Yeah.
And it's annoying when they have the glove in your face. You're like, and then what you end up doing, you're like, get out of my face. You're like, boom.
And then you could parry. I like to do the simplest one. Parry the glove right to the jab. And I'm a southpaw, so my hand.
Now that their hands
our
down
legs are
anyways,
close to get my right leg's close to their left leg. Like this, and then parry, pop. Just play around, and that's the thing about Muay Thai. You have fun. That's how the most successful fighters I've seen out there across these.
I'm enjoying it.
They're having fun. You obviously like Saenchai and Bukau and those guys that Lurzilla likes to do the cartwheel kick like Saenchai. They like to do their acrobats.
Yeah.
They're having fun. It's like going in there and playing like we were kids jumping in the trampoline. You know what I mean? Like
who did Superflex just fight? He fought like another like really like legendary guy.
Superlectus fought. He fought
Was it
some.
Saenchai, or?
No. He fought a K1 kickboxer in Japan. I didn't watch it yet. I actually need to watch it. It just came out last weekend.
Yeah, I saw that, but it was like another like legendary guy, and I watched like the highlights of it. And they were fighting, but they were also like having fun and like showing off the whole time. And I like that. And like you were talking about Thailand and stuff. Have you paid attention to like the actual like the way they do it in Thailand much, like the way they do the fights and stuff?
Oh yeah.
I don't know this to be true, but I was listening to something about Muay Thai. Like the first round, they don't fight hard. They're kind of feeling each other out, and the betting starts in the second and the third round, right? Is that how it works?
So from what I see, like from kickboxing to Muay Thai. Muay Thai, there's gears it's like a car. I always got philosophies told to me, from their gears, and I see like the great fighters like Bukal, they fight in Senshai, they fight different gears, and then they come out and there's rounds where they're coming out and they're on fire. You know what I mean? So it's just the first round usually, and what I use for one of my best fights ever, the first 30 seconds, or the first round for the most part, feel it out.
Okay. You're kind of getting warm in there.
Judging distance, how they react to things, their reaction times, things like that.
Is Muay Thai 3 rounds?
3 rounds, yes.
3 5-minute rounds?
And then it'd be 4 or 5, depending on the promotion for
like a
championship.
Yeah. I wish jiu-jitsu had fucking rounds, because I'd be stuck someone in the half guard. Like, let me start over. Get up on this motherfucker.
And 5 minutes, though, because Muay Thai is 3 minutes. So
okay.
But it's 3 minutes of explosiveness.
Yeah. Boxing is 3 minutes too, isn't it?
Yeah, 3 minutes.
So do you think, we were talking about this last week. I had just watched this video with St. Pierre where he was talking about feints.
Yeah.
And doing a lot of feints to try to overload the other opponent's nervous system and make them react and then overreact and react to the point where now he was explaining it more like a muscle. He was saying that their nervous system is like a muscle. So like if you're doing curls, even with a small weight, eventually it's going to get tired.
Right.
And he was saying that what he would do is overload like little feints and whatever, so that eventually he said it would slow their reaction time down. And now he was able to get stuff in. Have you seen anything like that in Muay Thai where they talk about things like that, like trying to get them to any techniques to lower their reaction time?
Feints are very great. I've actually been doing a lot in my combos since I've been at Victory. Lots of feints, way more than I did when I was at the arena, just because I was doing more of a traditional style, and the feints are just you throw it in there every once in a while. But with adding a lot of kickboxing and what I've been doing lately, the feints are used a lot. That's because in Muay Thai, my crew always said, do not flinch. That was his thing. Especially when they kick the leg, don't flinch. Go into it, go against the grain, check. But flinching, the judges see that in Muay Thai.
You lose point.
Really?
Yeah, it's not what they want to see.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
That goes to the art side of what it is.
If you make
just not what they
not saying that. I'm just saying the between of making your opponent faint from doing feints is on the offensive side.
Okay.
So
if you flinch, you look like a bitch. And then
yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, 2 for flinching, homie.
And and I'm sure you've seen people catch leg kicks and their legs, their body goes to the side and it just doesn't look proper. It's all the judges are observing everything.
Yeah. Got you. What's the difference between Muay Thai and kickboxing?
There's this really from I got to say about Muay Thai is it's very similar. There's really no difference. What I observed in my life of kickboxing and Muay Thai, a lot of kickboxing was used from Muay Thai. Lots of things that worked, maybe some things that were cut out. I mean, it's just a different, more. It's a more.
There's not a lot of elbows in
there's definitely
right?
there's definitely no elbows. Definitely no. I mean, I see Glory Kickboxing and those fighters use knees, but then they stop and have to break.
Yeah.
So I mean, you really see kickboxing is more like, especially back in the '80s in the golden era of Muay Thai, that's when the Thai fighters came and fought the karate fighters. You'd see the Rufuses, and they didn't know how to at first. They're getting their legs blasted.
That's like the most legendary fight that changed Rick Rufus. Because do you know who the Rufuses are? What's his brother's name? Not Rick.
There's Rick and Duke.
Yeah, Duke. So Duke runs a gym in Michigan or Minnesota.
Wisconsin.
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 Yeah, it's
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. Yeah. It's a really famous MMA gym. He runs it with Anthony Pettis. It's called Rufus Sport.
Yeah.
But there's a video from him when he was a kid, because his brother got his ass beat by a Thai fighter. And this Thai fighter just kept kicking his leg and kicking his leg and kicking his leg. And then finally, I think Rick had to quit, or he got TKO'd because of it. And it's famously Duke Rufus said, "Yeah, that whole kick in the leg thing, that's not real fighting." And then they
got
pioneered
messed
it in MMA. Like when they started breaking into MMA, they like pioneered like the kick in the thighs and stuff.
And see, that's where my style came from.
Yeah.
Did the
was from
original
golden era.
Yeah.
in older like that style of kickboxing back in the day, they weren't kicking with shins then either, were they?
No.
It was kind of like not the foot. It was kind of like the
quick little thing on that. Mike Krumar, my master, he in his book he talks about in Vegas they used to check because they still for the kickboxing matches had to wear the karate pants, so they would check his shins because they think that because he would kick them and the ref would think that he would have something attached to his shin.
Yeah.
But it's just as he's kicking their leg, and it's just
a whole
like it
different
feels
thing.
like a sword.
Yeah, it's like
you
getting
know?
hit with a bat versus
yeah.
like that was I remember.
I'm almost.
There's a
dumb
huge
enough to let you
difference.
Kick me.
There was a whole difference between in karate it was all foot, like you just kick
And
in
that's
the face with
and
your foot.
that's
And then
what
when
I
Muay
learned.
Thai, it was like straight shin, everything was shin.
And you
shin,
bend,
shin.
you bend. You know, it's a mechanic of you bend. You know, you have one arm bracing the other side in case like a hook comes or something, and then the other one's like a running motion for your swing and your momentum. Your hips move over, and then you bring it up kind of like a knee, like it's your aim, and then let your leg out. But you don't let your leg out go out straight. It's because hyperextension and whatnot. And it's weird, the snap, when you keep it a little, like not a full elbow, but just have it a little bit curved when you throw it, and the shin hits the thigh or the body or the head, it's lights out.
Yeah, that's rough. That's why anytime like you watch, even just watching UFC, you watch people fight, and you're like, man. Like you watch someone get a leg kick, and you're just like, man. And everyone's like, oh yeah, and I'm like, I don't think you understand. That's
Silva days,
brutal.
man. When I used to see Silva, like in Muay Thai, they're here. They're always here.
Yeah.
But he had the opportunity of his head, his hands down, just moving around because he was like
So
in the
loose
Matrix.
with it, yeah.
And then you see like the same thing with Adesanya, but in Thailand, this is hands right in front of them. They're ready to block their elbow, and it's a march. They call it a Thai march.
Did you watch the fight between Khalil Roundtree and Gokhan Saki?
I did not.
So Gokhan, I'm not super familiar with him, but I think he's like a multiple-time Glory World Champion. And Khalil is a big black dude from Vegas.
Yeah.
And for some reason, he went to Thailand and just trained straight Thai boxing. He came out like fucking Sagat in Street Fighter and fucked up Gokhan Saki. Like he came up, like you said, with that march, and he just marched down Gokhan Saki, who like. So Khalil at that time was kind of on the downslide. Like he was popping because he was on the Ultimate Fighter and he had a good enough personality where he made it into the UFC even though he lost. And then he won a couple fights and then he was getting fucked up. Like I think he lost 3 or 4 in a row. But he's a heavyweight, so they kept him around, or a light heavyweight, so they kept him around. And they were trying to bring in this legendary fighter named Gokhan Saki. I think he's Armenian. He's a big fucking Armenian dude, but I'm pretty sure he's a Thai fighter or whatever they do in Glory. And
kickboxing.
And they try to like feed Khalil to him. They're like, yeah, we're gonna give you Khalil because like we want you to get a win to start popping you up. And Khalil was in Thailand for years, I think a couple years, and he came out straight that Thai thing and just fucking marched him down and knocked him out in the fucking up against the cage. And it was like that was probably one of the biggest upsets ever because a dude who's not being known as a Thai fighter, a guy who's known as like a heavy-handed like kind of a grappler, came out and knocked out a Thai fighter or a guy who's fighting that style. With that style, which I always thought was super cool. He's the only guy I've ever seen in the UFC come out and do that march, like where they're tapping the front foot and stuff like that. You got to watch that fight; it's great.
I always tap my foot when I fight. That's my thing. I'm counting so I could because I like to set. I'm a teeper. My front teep fall up for an elbow in a roundhouse. You know what I mean? And you just the teep. It's just a way to keep rhythm.
You snap it off of that.
I snap it, but I'm heavy on my back leg. Which, if you're a smart Muay Thai fighter, which I've seen some smart Muay Thai fighters do, they go for that back leg.
Yeah.
Okay.
That back leg, if you take that back leg out when they're tapping like that,
it's gonna go.
That's where all their weight is. So, that's a very. It could if you're tapping, just be sure that you're ready to check both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Fuck, dude.
So what's the I mean, you've been doing this for a long time. What's like the biggest injury that you've had that you've gotten that you had to deal with, or have you made it so far?
My last fight, I had a black eye and my sternum got bruised.
Oh shit! Was that from like a front kick or something?
Oh, it's from a knee.
Damn! Oh, from like the clinch?
Yeah.
Wow.
Sternum bruise. Oh, that sounds, and that's probably like a deep bruise kind of thing.
I teeped him really good. and then we got engaged in the clinch. He kneed me, and then seconds later, I was able to 2, and he dropped. But that's where I let myself go, and I'm thinking, and of course you don't feel that moment. Yeah. I'm thinking like I won the fight, and then it goes back into a dogfight.
Yeah.
But later that night, I look in the mirror, my eyes starting to change, and then I'm trying to get some fresh air, and I'm.
Oh man.
And my sternum feels like there's something inside my sternum.
Ouch.
Speaking about like the fighting and stuff like that, so you've had a bunch of the amateur fights and you said 1 or 2 pro fights. So when you train Muay Thai, is there ever a time where you're going 100%?
Fight camp, 70.
So you're going hard. So what's the level change like when you go to a fight? Because like when we do jiu-jitsu, like you might not stand at 100%, but when you're rolling, I mean, you hit those 100% marks quite a bit. You maybe once a week you hit a hard roll that's like at 100%. But I'm used to it. I know what it feels like to be gassed out and going harder,
Yeah.
going harder. But you can never quite get the same adrenaline dump, do you, when you first grab the grips on someone in jiu-jitsu at a tournament. You know what I mean? I remember the first time I grabbed someone, I was like, why am I here? I grabbed this guy and I was like, I fucked up. Why am I here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like when you go into
Well,
the
it's
Muay Thai
2
fights,
things. It's 2 different things. So when it's practicing, 20%.
okay.
You work your technique.
So when you're everyday sparring, you're just tapping people.
Tapping, having fun. If you do sweep them, don't blast them on the mat, just like you would in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But then when you're getting ready for a fight, they call it a shark tank, where you go in the ring, and you got your headgear on, and you go a little. You're going a reenactment of.
You have a fight.
Yeah, a fight.
Yeah. So you go rounds, like
Rounds.
Robin, almost like just keep
Victory do a shark tank, which is they send in different fighters.
So they're always fresh, and you're.
And you're just surviving the rounds with them, but you're fighting different guys.
We do something similar in jiu-jitsu. At times he'll have he'll pick 5 people and you go in the middle, and then the way it works is everyone lines up, and then you just as you finish, the next person goes, and you stay in basically until you tap or someone beats you, and you just got to keep staying in.
Have you ever been doing striking there and like Jocko bops in to the class or anything?
Funny story on that. Quick one. So I was one of my best days sparring. I was getting my flow. We were going like 17 rounds that day, but they were pretty hard. They were.
That's 17 in a row.
And this is with the pro team. They were not pro team, the amateur team.
Yeah.
The guys that are competing with me. So we're going, and Jocko's there, and he's with Patty the Batty.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I just finished sparring, and they're watching us, and I was like talking to them, and I was like, and then I see them walk, because Jocko's recording. Where he goes live is right there in our locker room, and so I go in there, and Patty the Batty's going in there with him, and I'm just like, these guys are watching sparring, and Jocko's just, when I'm there sparring all the time, Jocko's there, and he's going live, and all these. I always have friends sending me TikToks of Jocko, and I'm like.
He's right here.
He's right here. I'm showering next door to where he's speaking of.
Where
these podcasts.
they do the Jocko podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met him at
He's way bigger than he looks on TV.
Yeah, I met him at World League, Jiu-Jitsu World League, when his daughter was competing against. That's when she went up against Helena.
Oh, okay.
But he was there, so I got to meet him.
Yeah, I talked to him here from time to time, and Patty the Batty too.
That's cool.
That's cool.
That guy has such a. His transformation when he's
and he was off season at that time.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Yeah. That boy was thick.
He's not thick. That dude gets
looks like
fat. But someone asked him like, do you hate the training or whatever, or like the cutting weight, or why don't you stay like that off season? And he was basically what you just said, because I want to be fucking happy. Food makes me happy. I want to be happy.
I still haven't gained any weight. I've just been chilling, just fucking keeping. I went to 3 p.m. today, and a couple motherfuckers found out about that paper cutter.
You guys looking good.
Yeah, well, he's on steroids.
Oh,
so are you.
I could tell.
This guy's always trying to.
We were chatting a little bit on the way over here, and you're saying that you so like 15 years ago or maybe a little longer, you got into Muay Thai, but you started by being.
That was kickboxing.
Oh, kickboxing. Yeah.
But Muay Thai, yes, Muay Thai about 12.
Yeah. So you started kind of being like a bouncer at a club, right? You were there kind of at a club. You started by sweeping, but then you said you were real scrawny and stuff. And then
I was a scrawny little guy, and I was just wanting to eat Carl's Jr. on my lunch break. But I mean, the whole martial arts life changed my perception of eating. So when I went to work there, it was at Soma, San Diego. It's a worldwide known punk venue there in San Diego. I was there. I worked there for about 7 years.
Damn, really?
Yeah, I was lights for maybe like 4 after I was a maintenance guy. Then from lights, I moved up to. I started getting into a lot of powerlifting. So I went from like a 170er to 230.
Oh. Damn, you got to 230?
Yeah. And that was from a lot of, going to lift weights. And then I was getting into jiu-jitsu, and boxing. I fell off of jiu-jitsu maybe a good 9 months. I was at the, next door to the Arena MMA, my gym that I first went to. And I did boxing in the morning, and then boxing helped me with a lot of Muay Thai, but I was like, man, I'm here 3 hours a day. Like, I need to choose one.
You were training 3 hours a day because you said
you were doing
boxing.
I was trying to do the MMA. I was trying to go MMA. Like.
Oh, you wanted to be a fighter.
And this was before I did my smokers, my first 2 smokers at the time.
If you don't know what a smoker is like a setup fight, but at a gym. It's not like sanctioned by any sanctioning body. It's like dudes getting brained for. You don't get paid
like
for
an in-house.
Your coach is the ref.
Yeah, it's like an in-house tournament.
You might get
but
for the love.
But there's blood.
I've seen some smokers, and they're
just
1,000% fights.
They go full. They let everything out. Just because you know the other person doesn't mean it's not.
I feel like it's even a little more because it's kind of behind doors.
Yeah.
People are in there like, hey, this is what's happening.
And get this, my first smoker, it was a full house, and they had like some names there. Like I remember Cyborg worked out there a lot. Lots of people that were in MMA at the time when I first joined that gym, and I was just like, oh wow, they're here, and it's just like it was like a barbecue and like a smoker, a big thing for I did 2 of those, and then I came across the the semi-contact events for Muay Thai, and I started doing those.
Does that mean like no elbows, or what is semi-contact?
Yeah, so it's an amateur thing. It's full contact is like WCK, like the promotion I fight for now. They're elbows, knees, and sweeps, and you're going full Muay Thai rules.
Mm-hmm.
The semi-contact is punches, kicks. Now they let you do knees. Back in my day, in the beginning, you couldn't do knees, so we're in the clinch. You had to kick the leg. So, the rules have changed a little more Muay Thai nowadays because they do a lot of sweeps and knees.
Yeah.
And
that makes me think of something. I was asking Nathan about it. I don't know if you watched the one we did with Nathan, but Nathan is a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, and he got into striking a few years ago. But we were talking about from the clinch and doing the sweeps like that. So since you're starting to transition into jiu-jitsu, does that translate over where you could sweep people from the clinch and start your top game from there?
So I was talking to my professor recently where I teach at, and I was a Brazilian professor, and he was going over stuff, and I was like, Professor, I was teaching in the Muay Thai class body locks and plume and lots of stuff that I see in jiu-jitsu, but you can't put your leg over and hip toss.
Yeah, you can. But you can't execute the full motion. Yeah.
Have you been able to transition that into jiu-jitsu for yourself? You said you started
body locks been helping me a lot in jiu-jitsu.
Really? What about like the double unders or like the plums?
The plums, the double unders. Yeah. It's all fluent to me.
I love that sweep that they do. Do you know? His name just went out of my head. There's this pretty famous Muay Thai dude, little short guy from England. Are you familiar with him? There's always videos of him sparring. And
Liam Harrison?
Yeah. Do you ever watch?
I watch him every morning. Every morning.
He does that, like you said. He
goes crazy. He goes crazy.
Yeah, he does like that hand out, and he pushes ahead and sweeps people.
Yeah.
Is that in your arsenal?
Yeah. So I always tell people 90% is up here,
Okay.
upper leverage. 10% is like, yeah, you could use your foot for something.
Yeah.
Or, you use your thigh. But it's all leverage. 90% of it's leverage.
Have you tried that in jiu-jitsu yet? Because you can put your head.
I used it in Nogi the other night.
Did you?
Yeah.
Man, fuck.
Because Nogi goes into a lot of judo.
Yeah. Do you ever watch Muay Thai, John?
No, I don't want.
Are you familiar with that sweep I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's like a foot sweep.
Yeah.
Right?
It's fucking crazy. Especially that dude Liam Harrison. Oh my god, dude, they blast.
Who's that
See,
guy?
Liam Harrison, he does it explosive.
Is that the guy that? Oh no, that was a French dude. I was thinking about the guy that St. Pierre brought.
Oh, the drunk guy.
The drunk dude.
That's a famous guy. I don't know his name, but I
don't know if you ever watched it. So St. Pierre was coaching one of those Ultimate Fighter shows, and he brought this dude from, I think, France.
I think he was either from France or he was French Canadian.
Yeah.
French Canadian.
But he was like, gave him a little talk, and he like to the team, and he's like, hey, look, he's different. Don't try to go at him because he will fuck you up if you try to go hard on him. And then I guess he came in drunk, and that's how he trains. He trains drunk. And then they were like, that was the worst experience. All of them were like, that was the worst experience. He was just beating everybody up. He's like, this drunk dude walks in, and just, he's smoking cigarettes, and he just destroys everybody. Like he's like, we were like children to him. And it was just like, some people are like that, man. I used to know this guy, my friend, his brother-in-law, they would go hiking all the time. And he would wear a weight vest, and they'd go like hiking, but he would smoke the entire time up the freaking thing, and it was like it didn't affect him. And I was like, how does that not bug you? Like, how are you able to smoke like as you're sprinting and with a weight vest on going up a mountain? I'm like,
I've heard of boxers doing that.
Like some people just, it's like,
do you know? His name just came out of my head too. I was thinking about him earlier. He won either Glory Grand Prix in LA. He's Joe Schilling. You're familiar with him?
Oh yeah.
He smokes.
Oh, well.
Dude, he smokes like in the back before fights.
I believe it's a balance. Smoking's not my thing, but if you're gonna go run like 10K and then smoke a cigarette, I mean,
like as a
reward.
I think it was a Glory Grand Prix that he won. Do you know what a Grand Prix is?
Yeah, it's like the
tournament.
It's
a
like what UFC used to be.
Single night tournament. Yeah. So this dude Joe Schilling, I think he kind of won. He won the final fight, but he got to the final fight by default. But he's in the fucking back between the fights smoking cigarettes, dude. And like so I think he won 2 fights, and then he fought this dude, and it was so gnarly. The dude won, and then he said, I can't go to the next fight. So Joe got to go because that dude didn't go, and then he's backstage smoking cigarettes, thinking his day's done, and he goes back out there and he fucking wins. So I think same thing happened with Mark Hunt. Mark Hunt beat the brakes off someone and lost, and then had to come back and won the K1
Some people
Grand
just
Prix.
have that in them.
It's what I see it as, and what I've learned from Muay Thai is balance.
Yeah.
Moderation.
Yeah. You know that's
moderation, man. It's literally like
it's hard to.
You can enjoy an energy drink, or you can have a cigarette, or just as long as you're putting in work.
Yeah, putting in the work.
I mean, I still think about that, even though like I mostly eat like shit. I consider when I eat and what I'm eating. How's this gonna make me feel when I do jiu-jitsu tonight? Like a lot of times I'll eat my lunch. I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna go get this, and I'll think about it. It's like maybe I should not have that, or like instead of going fucking king size or whatever, I try to go for the smaller one or have water and stuff like that because. It changes everything. It sucks when you're stuck in side control and someo's.
It's your fuel.
I was so unhealthy for so long because all I did was like.
Bitch, you still fat as hell.
All I did was like work and like try to like get my career where it is, right?
And drink IPAs.
And vape and drink and like that was my thing. That was my like I wanted to have a beer and like vape and then I started jiu-jitsu, and then since jiu-jitsu started, I weighed about pretty much the same as he did. I was about 250, 260 when I started, and then...
No way you were only 260.
Yeah,
you were a thick boy.
Anyways, point being is like...
I was 285 when I started.
It's like... every time I was like, man, I gotta... like I was like, I can't vape and do this, so I was like, boom, stop vaping. And and then it was like, how can I get better? And what do I need to do? And then it was like, all right, I need to start like... getting healthier and so it's all led into like this lifestyle that's changed like the way I eat, the way I think about working out, and just pushing myself to just try to be healthier. It's crazy because it's like it's not necessarily because I'm like, oh, I just want to be healthier. It's like it's always like, how can I make my jiu-jitsu better? And what do I have to do to make my jiu-jitsu better? And it's like that's kind of where it all leads to me for me. So it's kind of But that balance of like, when can you have a beer? When you don't have a beer? When have you earned a beer?
Right.
For me, it's about earning it. Like I gotta earn it.
Because you like to be tortured.
It is what it is. You gotta earn.
You ever
earn
had your
the
balls
drink.
stomped on?
No, I have not. I can't.
Not
say
yet?
that.
You mean
No,
not
thank
yet? You haven't?
Never. I don't think I'd like that. I'm good.
You were talking about balance, and Greg and I were talking on the way over here. We drove here together, so we kind of did like a pre-podcast. But he was talking about, I mean, he kind of came from the same shit I did, where it's like, people go to shows, right? They go to concerts, and it's like, oh, you have fun and shit. Like, dudes like us went to shows because that was like our turf. That's like where our gang presided. And we would go to fight motherfuckers. Like, that was our whole reason to go to these shows.
Yep, we were tough guys.
And
Tough
guys. But then you started doing Muay Thai, and you said you realized that it's changed things. Like, I had the same perspective. Cody had the same perspective. Like, we started doing jiu-jitsu, or you start doing Muay Thai, and it shows you, like, the art form of fighting. It's like, when I'm on the street, I feel relatively safe. I got a mean Chuckledale overhand right, but I'll choke the fuck out of you if I have to. You know what I mean? And so it's like, it's changed my perspective. I don't need to, like, front on people anymore. And, like, you were talking about that, like, how Muay Thai saved your life, right? Like, those are your words.
Yeah. I think that bar fights are very foolish. I think fighting at shows are very foolish. I think fighting on the streets is very foolish. I think...
You don't think about those consequences until you know them, and now you're doing something that you see the
consequences are one thing, but I believe in a lot of karma, and I believe that it's no one wins a fight. I mean,
that's a good way to put it. Yeah, no one wins.
I mean, so and it depends on what you're fighting for. If it's something that you really got to fight for, then I mean, my theory is if someone's attacking me. Okay, then I'm a motherfucking tiger. Oh,
yeah.
I can't cuss on here, huh?
No, you can cuss all you want.
Okay, yeah. So I'm a tiger. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna defend myself.
Yeah.
Like that person's getting rocked. That person's going to sleep.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like, oh, someone bumped into me, or oh, I don't like that person,
like,
or so, you said that online or something.
Yeah.
Cool, you win. Bye.
Yeah.
And I had a guy do that one time at a bar. He swung. We had something from online from 5 years before. Swung on me. I slipped. Boom, out of the way, and I spoke to him, used my words, and had a beer instead.
Yeah. That's a big thing.
The art of fighting without fighting.
Yeah,
right?
that's a big thing that I think Jocko talks about it on his podcast a lot, and a lot of high level people talk about people who train. Even Joe Rogan talks about it. That people who train in some sort of combat sport are usually the least, like, the last person that want to even get into any type of situation. Yep. Like, it's all about de-escalating. Like, I don't really need to... And you're right. Like, I feel that if a lot of people will carry that ego that have to be like, oh, I'm tough.
Yeah.
And if you learn every day in the gym, like, man, I'm nothing.
You're not.
Yeah.
There's always a bigger fish. Yeah. Always a bigger fish.
So, like, but at the same time, you also know where you're capable of to hold yourself, and your family.
I think
once
and when I started learning too, like what I was being taught, like it's like it's meant for good. It's like like and then I always learned bullies are always broken. So, when you're like we're going back to the shows, like us, people fighting other people, and this is our show, our turf, and it's just more of like, for what?
Yeah. I think about that so much, for what? And like, when you were saying just a second ago, like, nobody wins, it's like, I fuck around and call myself the white belt slayer because you're beating up dudes who are untrained, but like, you go on the streets and like, you fuck up a dude who doesn't train, like, what does that do for you? It doesn't do much, because it's like, you
just fought a bum.
You just fought a bum, dude. It's like, you fucked this dude up, and it's like, cool, but you could tell he didn't train. Like, so it's like, the outcome was predetermined. Unless he hits you with like just the puncher's shot, it's like, the outcome was predetermined. You were going to win. So what's the point of it,
Now, if I was forced to fuck up a bum, that's different.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's different.
So if you got to crack it open, you're not afraid to crack that can open and fuck them up.
Well,
if they hit you, then...
Yeah. Hey, if we're in a bar and I swing on someone and say I hit you, get you right in the jaw, then you look at me and you start guarding yourself and tapping your front foot, hey man, I'm done.
That's that whole concept that what's his name? Jordan Peterson or whatever. It's like where he says like a weak man isn't a good man. A good man is someone that it's violent but knows how to be to control that, and it's not.
How about like Miyamoto Musashi, someone who's actually worth talking about?
There we go.
Better to be a fucking
There we go.
a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
There's a great.
Fuck
Yeah,
Jordan
that's a great one.
Peterson.
That's a great one.
That's and
Yeah.
speaking, if you don't mind me
Yeah.
saying, speaking of warriors, going back to my crew Mark, the way I see it, why I stood so loyal was the energy and the way it was like he chose me, you know, in the gym to,
Yep.
you know, I saw a lot of people that were around us, but when he we say the exact word, but it's resign, you know, when he left the gym, he's at 70 now. I realized I left with him. I even told the Arena MMA, I'm done. I'm out of here. I don't want and I went to Victory.
Yeah, that's when you had to find a new place because your quote unquote master left.
And get how small the MMA world is. The two coaches over there for Muay Thai that took me in were the ones that they were his students.
Oh wow,
that's cool.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So it's like family
Yeah.
being, you know,
Yeah.
going to family. And I still see crew Mark on the bay. I train like we do in Thailand on the beach, you know.
Yeah, I've seen you train
Pads
on the
and
beach, yeah.
every Friday, man. It's a blessing to still train a legend of Muay Thai.
You were talking about how small the circle is real quick for our camera guys. I think you were telling me, we were talking about this before, that crew Mark was the guy that was like holding pads and training with Hoyler, right? When Hoyler was fighting in Pride.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I heard your podcast the other night. You were talking about Hoist and Hoyler,
Yeah.
you know, and you noticed Hoyler seemed more of a striker.
Yeah.
I remember pictures with crew Mark. You know, he would have pictures of Dean Lister and Hoyler, and like they were friends. And crew Mark had the pads.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I'm like, what's crew Mark doing? What's he doing teaching with the like training with the jiu-jitsu guys?
Yeah.
He's holding pads for them or something, you know?
Yeah.
And then same thing with Cyborg, you know? So I did, and crew Mark he was always very open with the jiu-jitsu community, with the old school, you know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fuck it. If you just on Hoyler real quick, like if you listen to any of the Gracies talk about like each individual's a brother or cousin, they all say that Hoyler was the lion. He was the one that was rolling in, fighting fools. You know, he was the most about it. He may not have been the best at the striking or MMA, but he was the most aggressive, the one ready to go out there and do it the most. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
Anyways, man, appreciate you coming on. This was cool. It was nice to get to know you and formally meet you.
John, thank you, John.
A lot of good conversation.
It's been a great pleasure having me on here. Thank you.
Yeah, next time we get you on, we'll prepare it more and get you in some shorts and show us a fucking technique.
Yeah.
I think I got some fucking hot shit to show you.
How'd it go, Anthony?
I got some hot. You fucking see that shit showing up? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. No, stop doing that. You're scaring me.
Anyways, all right, guys. Make sure if you guys like the podcast, leave a comment, hit subscribe, go follow everybody.
Nos.
Oh.